Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about The Walking Dead, this time episode 607, titled Heads Up, which premiered Sunday, November 22nd, 2015 on AMC. And guys, what an episode. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it, first off, but just a quick reminder, if you haven't seen the episode, I highly suggest you to go do that first. Trust me, what my reaction to it is not going to do the episode justice. So, and I'm going to be spoiling the hell out of it, so please go watch it first, experience it for yourself, and then come and see if it matches up with what I thought about it, because I'm pretty sure 90% of you are going to feel the exact same way I did. So, with that said, also I haven't read the comics yet, so everything I think, feel, or predict come straight off of what I see on the screen, and with any help from the comics. So, with that said, 10-minute clock. Let's begin. According to Talking Dead, because I am recording this just after watching it, apparently only 1 day has passed since the quarry mission. I would have thought at least maybe a few days, maybe, but apparently it's only been a day at least. So maybe like a night's worth of rest, maybe not even that. So I thought that was surprising for me, but learn something every time you watch Talking Dead, and it's a great after show to watch. So if you aren't watching that already, I suggest go do that first. So something new that we learned. First off, Glenn is alive. Yes, I said it again. Glenn is alive. Hallelujah. I mean, I was hoping and praying that what we saw in the last scene that we saw with Glenn falling into that walker group and the guts being ripped, I had hoped that they were not Glenn's guts. But everyone kept saying that he's either dead or something, or it's not possible how he can get out of it. But we got answers for that today. Today we find out that the guts were actually Nicholas's, and Glenn was unfortunately under his body. And while everyone was distracted by Nicholas's body, he managed to climb underneath the dumpster and wait it out. So we got answers about that. And surprising enough, along the way, Glenn runs into Enid, and he tries to bring her back to Alexandria. And so there's that. They come across some of the balloon supplies they had for the Walker Quarry mission, and they use that to send a signal to Alexandria that they were alive. And I believe only Glenn would have known that, because he was part of the group to that mission who assigned the balloon. So there's that. So with that said, back inside Alexandria, we have shooting lessons for Ron, brought to you by Rick and Carl. And was it just me, or did Ron seem a little eager to start target practice? It really didn't sit right with me. But anyways, and then we also get later on Rick, Carol, and Michonne talking to Morgan about the 5 wolves that he had let go, which eventually Rick killed back at the RV. And they have come about this meeting because Rick was told by Carol that she saw Morgan with some wolves, and he let them go, and making Rick draw to the conclusion that those were the wolves that tried to kill him at the RV. So there's that. We see a brief moment of Deanna giving her plans that we saw her make before to Rick and Michonne. And she's confident in the fact that Alexandria will have the opportunity to put these plans into motion, as they are plans for the future of this place. So I thought that was really great that she had this new confidence in her about this place where she's been living for quite some time. Next thing, we see Rosita giving a weapons lesson, specifically with machetes, to a bunch of Alexandrians, including Eugene, who seems to be a very nervous and very reluctant student, although Rosita does have a moment where she's trying to talk some sense into him and how he needs to fight to survive, even if he doesn't think he is the fighting type. Eugene's more of a lover, not a fighter type thing, but Rosita's trying to talk some sense to him. We also see a brief glimpse moment of Ron sneaking into the armory to get some ammo, which has me even more nervous. We also see Spencer trying to climb over the wall, yet he manages to fall on a herd surrounding the fence, forcing Rick and the others to help him out of it. So I don't know what he was thinking with that plan, especially with the very few supplies he was using to help him supposedly get across that gap of walkers. So there's that. We also see Carol being a spy and a babysitter. She's taking care of Judith when she spots Morgan heading somewhere with Dr. Denise, which doesn't sit right with Carol. So we also see and learn that Jesse actually watches Judith from time to time, and because of that little brief bit, we see Carol talking to Sam, who is still limiting himself to upstairs, where he thinks that the world upstairs hasn't changed yet. So there's that. Another brief bit about Ron is that we see him following Carl, and he pulls a gun out. So again, worried like crazy for sure. Next, we see Michonne seeing Deanna's plans. It seems like she is all for this future idea, which is great. And then at the very end, we see the Alexandrians seeing the group of balloons floating over their city, which is their sign from Glenn, which has Maggie ecstatic for the fact that her husband is out there somewhere. But just when that joy comes to them, it's squashed when the watchtower that was damaged by the wolves' truck being rammed into it, it collapses into the wall and breaks it wide open, and that's where the episode ends. There's a lot to jam pack in, but it definitely sets you up for the major mid-season finale that's happening next week, but I'll get into that in a bit later. But what's the most shocking moment of the episode? Has to be Glenn and Enid, more so Glenn, because he's alive. We've been waiting for how long? I think it's episode 3 at least, 2 or 3, where we saw the fate of Glenn falling into that herd, and we've been left waiting for at least a month wondering if Glenn's dead or alive, and we got our answer, and the fact that Glenn is alive. And also in the credits, Steven Yeun's name is back in its place for a few episodes now. It's been missing, so it's very clever there for sure, to keep us on the brink of wondering, for sure. But I'm very glad that he's alive. So top 3 moments. With that said, the first one has to be Glenn's return. Just having him alive and well has me just ecstatic for the fact that we did not lose him for sure. He's always been one of my top favorite characters. You can even ask, if you were to ask my family, Glenn was always up in one of my top 5s, even at the beginning of the show when I was just reluctant to watch. And purposely, I'll just admit it now, I was reluctant because I didn't want to prove my family right that I liked the show. So that said, with Glenn, we got to see many different parts. We got to see not only how he survived that big walker crowding the dumpster thing that he had to deal with. We saw him how he survived that. We saw him running in Enid and how he survived her threat to kill him if he tried to force her to come back. And we see him trying to make a connection with Enid in a sense when they're trying to travel back, and he's trying to talk some sense into her when they come across Alexandria and see all these walkers swarming the walls, and their idea to have the balloons and using them as their signal. It was very great to see Glenn doing everything he can to get back home to Maggie, and he's not going to leave Enid behind as he tries to do that. So it's just Glenn having him back was just a major favorite for sure. With that said, second favorite moment then would have to be the little meeting between Rick, Michonne, Carol, and Morgan. And what I like about it is the fact that Rick, Carol, and Michonne are all on the same page when it comes to Morgan, how they don't agree with the fact that he's letting people go who have wronged them, knowing full well that they will come back and bite them in the butt, which was proven right when they tried to kill Rick in the RV. So while they all agree that either killing or letting people go is too simple of a way to live now, but Rick made a very valid point that does Morgan really believe that he can survive without getting blood on his hands? And Morgan even says that he does not know, but I really like for that conversation how it was hashed out the way it was and how they try to get an understanding of where Morgan's head was at. And while it makes sense, while he believes all life is precious, and how if he steps back from that, he might result into the crazy Morgan that we saw back in season 3. So there's that. Third favorite has to be Rosita's weapons lesson, especially her speech to Eugene during that lesson where she's telling him why they keep fighting, what the hard part how living is the hard part and not dying, and how she's trying to tell him that this is the way the world is. This is why you have to learn to fight even though you may not want to do it. So it's just that whole speech. I probably didn't do it justice with that summary, but definitely go watch it. Go watch the whole episode just to get a full understanding of what parts I'm actually liking. Okay, so top 3 sorry, I'm rushing. Very sorry for that. So top 3 peeved moments. First one has to be Ron's eagerness to shoot something, then him stealing the ammo, then him taking the gun out when he's following Carl. It all has me leaving me with a very bad feeling. I don't like Ron, never liked Ron, and the fact that he seems to have placed a target on Carl's back, and he seems willing to hit that target. And Carl's one of my favorite characters, just like Glenn, and I really don't want to see Ron, this naive, inexperienced kid, get the drop on Carl, or even have an upper hand over Carl, who has all this experience. Oh, there's the timer. Who has all this experience, who has all this, I don't want to say, who has all this skills and lessons under his belt, and to have him be caught off by a naive kid such as Ron, it's just, it wouldn't seem fair. It would seem, if there were come to a fight like that, I want Carl to win. I want Ron gone, like gone yesterday for sure. Another peeved moment has to be Spencer's attempt to escape. I get that he was trying to figure out a way to get the herd away from the walls, and he wanted to be the one to do it, but his plan was not really foolproof. I mean, like, if you really felt strongly about your plan, you could have went to someone, could have figured out a way to make sure that you survived that plan, and make sure that there was no flaws to it. Instead, he almost risked a whole bunch of people, he risked not only his life, but Tara, who climbed over the wall to sit on the ledge to help fire off the walkers who were going after Spencer. And then Rick, if the other guys didn't help him pull him up, chances are Spencer may have even pulled Rick over just from his weight on the wire. So it's like Spencer's failed attempt probably could have been prevented if he actually went to someone and talked his plan out. So there's that. Also, another peeved moment was that throughout the episode, I noticed that we always saw pieces of the clock tower or the watchtower, and at one point I think I saw a board falling off or like a creaking from it. So like throughout the episode, as the audience member, I thought I saw that tower coming apart. So I guess what irritated me is that maybe no one else noticed. I mean, Rick noticed that the wall needed to be reinforced, especially where the part where it started bleeding for some reason. He was reinforcing that, but then did they not notice that the watchtower that got rammed in by a truck wasn't gonna suffer from that? I mean, I don't know. But now that they're paying for that now, because the watchtower has collapsed and it brought down a part of the wall. So now walkers are coming in. So I guess they're paying for that mistake now. So quickly, what will I remember most about this episode? Glenn is back, and enough said. I mean, rejoice, cheers of joy, all of that, which is fantastic. So random questions. First one, is it possible that Glenn was the one calling on the radio to Daryl that we saw in the end of the last episode? Or was that simply another person we haven't met yet? Originally, I thought it was Rick, but then after watching Talking Dead, it wasn't. It was said that it wasn't Rick. So, and then people started saying that maybe it was Glenn, and then we saw in this episode, I don't think it was Glenn, but if that's the case, then who else would have a radio? Could it be the people or did the people that stole Daryl's motorcycle, did they take his walkie-talkie too? And the walkie-talkie Daryl was using was Sasha's? I don't know, I'm kind of confused, especially when I didn't recognize the voice. Next question. I think Ron is going to kill Carl or Rick. So I guess my question is, do you think he's going to pull it off? I hope not. I truly hope not. I hope that he fails, or he fires a blank first when he tries, but because that clicking. Whoever he's trying to shoot at will turn around and fight him for the gun before he fires off a real shot. I just hope Ron doesn't get a shot off of anyone in Rick's group. I don't like that kid at all. Next question. With the clock tower or watchtower down, how will Alexandria survive the Walker invasion with a lot of their veteran fighters, aka Rick's group, are outside of the wall? You have Glenn on the outside. You have Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham on the outside of the wall. So that's probably about a good half of their team, because you only have Rick, Carl, Michonne, Carol, Rosita, and Tara, and Maggie. Yeah, I think I named everyone. Yeah, and Father Gabriel or Eugene, they don't really have any fighting sense, but those people are only inside the wall. And then all the other Alexandrians who really have no clue how to fight. So how long or how do you think they're going to get out of this Walker invasion? Have a bad feeling about that too. But last question, actually. If Glenn, Maggie, and Enid survive this Walker invasion, is it possible that Glenn and Maggie could kind of adopt Enid into their little family, or at least take her in and kind of bring her under their wing? Because I think that Glenn might have formed a soft spot for Enid in this episode, or at least he bonded with her in some way. So I don't really see how, after trying to get back to everybody, how he would just distance or forget himself from Enid after that. I don't think he could do that. So I'm wondering if maybe Glenn takes Enid in, and with him and Maggie expecting a baby, maybe it's like bringing her in as like a big sister or something. I don't know, it'd be interesting, but I don't really think that the relationship or the connection we saw forming between Glenn and Enid in this episode, I don't think it's going to be forgotten or be put off on a back burner. I think it might continue to form, and it'd be interesting to see how that works out. Okay, predictions, quickly. Next episode is the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, with it returning back in February. So basically the promo shows the Walkers invading Alexandria, and everyone's going to have to try to fight their way out of that. So there's that. And the sneak peek from Talking Dead was basically the tower dropping, and then the Walkers walking through, and then Rick's look of shock. So I think it's basically the first few minutes of the episode that we were seeing. So not much was revealed there except for what we saw in the promo, or what we could assume was going to happen. So my prediction is there's going to be a lot of death, for sure. I hope it's not anyone in Rick's group. As long as anyone in that original group is safe, I'm fine with it. Anyone else can be Walker bait, like Ron. I really don't want Ron to survive. And another prediction is that I have a very bad feeling that Sam is going to take Carol's words to him the wrong way, and he's going to do something. She said the only way to not, I think it was that the only way not to be a monster was to kill. I think that's what she said. And if he takes it that way, he might start doing some unnecessary killing, unless he takes it as the fact that you kill walkers. But I have a very bad feeling how Sam's going to take Carol's words, for sure. And last prediction, I have another bad feeling that the wolf leader that Morgan locked up, he's either going to escape during that invasion. Therefore, he may kill people while they're worried about walkers trying to get at them. And he might just kill the people so that it draws the walkers away from him. Or that infection or that wound he had is infected, and it may cause him to die faster, therefore turning him into a walker faster. And with him loose inside, or I guess with him loose inside Alexandria is not going to matter because there's a whole bunch of walkers inside. So there's that. And that's about it. So what did you guys think of the episode? I'm like totally excited for this episode because Glenn, I'm going to keep saying Glenn is back, Glenn is back, Glenn is back. So relieved for that. Sorry, I just had to get out there. I did not like that time where we thought he could be dead. Did not like that at all. So, what did you guys think of the episode? Did you like it? Were you relieved? Were you rejoicing over the fact that Glenn was alive? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. What do you think about this lead up to the mid-season finale? Who do you think is going to die? I'm pretty sure someone's going to die. I'm pretty sure they had someone dying in every finale, mid-season finale. If I may be wrong on that. Well, Beth died last mid-season finale. So that was season 5. Did anyone die in season 4? Herschel. Wasn't it Herschel who died mid-season in the mid-season 4 finale? Maybe. Yeah, so someone is bound to die, which I'm worried for. But who do you think it might be? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos. And also share this with anyone else who's a fan of The Walking Dead. Spread the word around. Let's keep this fan base growing. Like I said before, I am a brand new fan to Walking Dead. This is actually the first season I'm able to watch it with everyone else instead of binge watching it. So I'm excited to talk to everybody. I have not read the comics, so I don't know anything that the comic could reveal. Everything I think, feel, predict is all from what I see on the screen. So with that said, so yeah. So if you have any comments, questions, theories, your own theories, just let me know in the comments below. Love to hear about it. Love to have your take on it, whether you're a fan of the comics or whether you're just a TV fan like I am. Don't be afraid to leave them. And that's about it. Yes. Yep, that's about it. So until next weekend, this is Mel wishing everyone a safe day, safe week. And if you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving for this week. And everywhere else, just be safe wherever you're doing. So until next weekend, this is Mel saying bye for now.